All right, if you have seen me on this channel before, you know that I have talked extensively about Donald Trump's very clear and obvious cognitive decline. He is 79 years old, he is orange, he is running around rambling incoherently, bruises on his hands, swelling of his ankles, and it's very frustrating to me personally because I watched for, 2 or 3 years, really all 4 years of Joe Biden, I would say. Anytime he did anything, there was always this conversation that, oh, he's cognitively declining, he doesn't know where he is, who's running the country. And those same people are now watching Donald Trump objectively do far more egregious things, and they're all silent about it because they're sellouts, because people on Fox News have sold out our country to, basically be able to take pictures at Mar-a-Lago. And it's infuriating. And so I like making videos talking about the fact that this guy is losing it. And he had a press conference today, and I want to talk about it. Before we do, though, really quickly, my name is Chris Mowrey. I'm filling in for Adam Mockler on the Adam Mockler channel. If you enjoy this type of content, there's a link to my YouTube channel in the description down below. We're nearing 100,000 subscribers, so it would mean a lot if you click the link right down below and hit subscribe. You guys are the absolute best. And on this channel, we're trying to build something big to punch back against MAGA media, this right-leaning media ecosystem that pumps so much disinformation onto the American public. We're trying to build something to not only combat that, but beat it by uplifting Gen Z voices. So if you want to help us grow and you want to be a part of this community, all you have to do, drum roll please, is subscribe. It goes such a long way. All right, let's start here with, before we get into some of the main clips of Donald Trump's speech today, this video went really viral of Donald Trump. He's here. This is kind of what I believe to be, if I understand the White House correctly, the lead up here toward the Oval Office, this kind of very famous walkway. And I'll go ahead and hit play here. I don't think there's sound attached to this video. But if you watch, he's pointing, he starts to stumble. It's actually kind of bizarre. It's like he's struggling to walk. You say right there, he takes another couple steps forward and he's kind of leaning back. At one point in the beginning, he almost loses his balance. I'll play it one more time right there. He kind of leans back and he's losing his balance a bit. His knees are buckling a little bit. And it went really viral, and actually viral enough that this is the front of the Drudge Report, which is Health Watch, President losing motor skills, ? Leg drags limps video. And then again, the video right here. So very interesting that, again, this is being talked about far more, I'd say, than it has in the past. And again, reasonably so, because it seems like it gets worse and worse and worse every single day. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments down below. Let's start with one of these clips from the speech today. Take a listen.
Of every newspaper, it's out of control. The mayor is incompetent, and the governor is a big fat slob. He ought to invite us in, say, please make Chicago safe. We're going to lose a great city if we don't do it quickly.
Okay, I want to say this first, and not to get all sad and sappy on people, but as a 23-year-old, I remember I have some of my first political memories were Barack Obama being inaugurated. And often when I say that on TikTok or YouTube, people are like, oh my God, Chris, you're making me feel old, which I'm not trying to do. But I'm 23 years old. I was quite young when Barack Obama was inaugurated. I was born in 2002. But the idea that I was looking at somebody on the TV, even if I didn't understand at the time, I understood enough to know that what I was looking at was a man who was deeply caring, was charismatic, was a family man, and somebody I looked up to, genuinely. And it is so effing sad and depressing to me that there are kids right now that maybe are 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years old who are watching this on the TV, and this is who they're supposed to be, looking up to as the leader of the United States? He's calling people fat slobs on the TV. It makes me sad while it also makes me really angry. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me really mad. Donald Trump is just he's such a piece of shit. Why are you the leader of the free world talking about people like this? What type of example does that set? It's gross. It's disgusting. That's number one. But number two, aside from the fact that what are you doing right now? Again, I'm not going to say anything, but Donald Trump using that type of language towards J.B. Pritzker, I don't know that Donald Trump's in the best physical health himself. I'll leave it there. But in relation to that, this was a picture that a while ago went pretty viral. Donald Trump, someone took a picture of him on the White House lawn. And obviously, physically not in the greatest shape. I think we've known that. But also, a lot of talk here about what's going on with his legs. because again, it appears almost that there's like something attached to his calves here. I don't know if you saw this from a few weeks ago, but went really viral. A lot of speculation about if there's potentially was some health related thing attached to his legs here. Regardless, I think this picture just shows overall, as Donald Trump says today, that he's not any type of person to be raging against others in relation to physical health and calling someone a quote fat slob, which you shouldn't call anyone that. I don't care who you are, whether you're the president of the United States or not. But still, Donald Trump is using language like that about health. Not sure. Let's go to the next clip.
You remember last year, after a thorough and very rigorous investigation by Pam Bondi and all of the people at Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the White House Counsel's Office, and the Department of Everything. We have a Department of Everything. You know what that is? I think that's called the White House. Into a terrible situation caused by a man named Sleepy Joe Biden. He used an auto pen last year for the turkey's pardon. So I have the official duty to determine, and I have determined that last year's turkey pardons are totally invalid, as are the pardons of about every other person that was pardoned other than, where's Hunter?
I want to point out again quickly, Donald Trump is just such an asshole. Joe Biden is a man who's been diagnosed with cancer and is trying to live his life with his family now. Hunter Biden, obviously, he's been through a lot and is watching his dad go through this. And so for Donald Trump to be going down this lane on again a day like Thanksgiving, what a huge. I'm not surprised, or the lead up to Thanksgiving, I should say. I'm not surprised, but my God, it's just like there's never a low for this guy. Regardless of that, again, in relation to cognitive decline here, this was from today. He sounds like shit. It doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound great. I'm so convinced that so many problems in this country would be solved if the people who voted for Donald Trump were required to sit down and watch a full speech of him. And that sounds crazy, but there's no way people watch this and are like, yeah, that's my guy. This is my president right here. The first part of this is practically incoherent. He's like, well, the Department of Everything, which I call the White House. What? It's like, what are you even saying right now? It's just like a rambling nightmare. And in relation to him not sounding good, especially, I feel like sounding a little more tired these days. If you remember this from the Oval Office just last week or the week before maybe, but I'm sure you've seen this clip right here.
Ask the health of the president's always news. Your voice sounds a little rough. Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with trade in a country, and I straightened it out. But I blew my stack at these people.
Well, it sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about Venezuela? You suggested...
Is there what?
It sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about Venezuela?
I thought you said there was a polyp, and I said, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, but again, noticeable enough lately, whether it's, the voice or some of the physical attributes of Donald Trump for, again, reporters, even in the White House, who tend to be these days very pro Donald Trump, to be asking about, hey, you feeling okay? Voice is pretty raspy. Notice the same thing today. Let's go to the next clip from today.
We're having murders, a lot of murders, on a weekly basis. We haven't had a murder in 6 months. And it doesn't sound good even to say that. We haven't had a murder in 6 months. But when you are averaging one and even sometimes two a week, and you haven't had one in 6 months, you can walk with your family down the middle of any street, go to a restaurant, you won't get in. They're opening new restaurants all over.
Okay. Again, I don't even know exactly what he's talking about here. I'd actually be curious, because I'm going to assume that the first part of what he said is just a complete and total lie, referring to Washington, D.C. there, and the amount of murders. But if someone wants to fact check that in the comments down below, I'd love to see the relevant information there, regardless of if crime has gone down in Washington, D.C. Again, sending in the National Guard, the entire point of the United States is we try to, determine how much the government should be involved in certain things while also having, the freedom to do what we want. So we could have, crime be zero if the military controlled every inch of every city, but we don't want that, right? Because we want some amount of personal freedoms. And I don't think the National Guard should be walking around Washington, D.C. I certainly don't think before the National Guard there was some, giant crime problem. I'm sure what Donald Trump just said is very hyperbolic. Regardless of that, the second part of that, just incoherent. What is he talking about? You walk down restaurants and you can't get into restaurants with your families. But now that the National Guard is here, there's restaurants opening everywhere that you can walk into. When in Washington, D.C. ever have you not been able to go into a restaurant because of crime? What does that even mean and why? Why? Do reporters never press Donald Trump or, frankly, anybody else in the MAGA world who has sold out their soul for this guy? Why do they never ask them? Why do they never ask those people and Donald Trump about stuff like this? Hey, excuse me, Mr. MAGA influencer. Hey, excuse me, White House press secretary, Donald Trump, whoever. What exactly did you mean when you said crime was so out of control in Washington, D.C. that before the National Guard, you would walk in and try to get into a restaurant with your family and you weren't allowed in? What does that mean? Is the president cognitively declining? Is he okay? But it kind of just feels like these days there's not many people asking those questions, which can be pretty frustrating. Take a listen to this clip.
In a long time, egg prices are down 86% since March, and gasoline will soon be hovering around $2 a gallon.
Gasoline will soon be hovering around $2 a gallon. Again, just like making speeches of just sheer BS, sheer fantasy land. And for the guy who said he was going to usher in, the golden age on day one, we're 8-9 months in talking about soon gas prices will be $2. No plan, no understanding of how. It's not even close. Take a listen to this clip from Fox talking about gas prices.
It's better to me to drive than to fly, Sandra, but, gas prices. Well, what about that one behind me? Yeah, that's the most expensive gas in the state of Pennsylvania, $4.09 the average gallon, right? You're about $1 more than the national average. And, people have conflicting views about gas prices. The administration says it's lower than it was. Others say it's higher. Well, the reality is, you see it right there. It's pretty much the same as it was last year, $3.05. That despite the change in energy production and energy prices, 13.7 million barrels a day pumped the last month we've got data. And that not only is a record in the U.S., but an all-time record in the history of Earth.
Okay, this makes me so angry because Donald Trump has said multiple times in the last few weeks that gas prices are at a 2-decade low. Gas prices are so low, they're way lower than they were under, Joe Biden. We're ushering in this age of the golden age. He's just lying about it. And Fox News right there described that lying about gas prices as a conflicting view. The White House has conflicting views on gas prices because year to date, they're actually up very slightly. I know Fox there, it was really helpful for them to phrase it as, it's basically the same. No, they're up year to date, right? And the White House just has a conflicting view on that. They just believe that it's at a 20-year low. That's not a conflicting view. That is a lie. That's what that's called, a lie. There's no such thing as a conflicting view on numbers. We actually have a bunch of websites, believe it or not. Let me pull one up right here. This is, AAA fuel prices, the national average gas prices today as I record this. Current average, $3 and, almost a cent, or excuse me, almost 10 cents there. Right? That's not a conflicting view, right? We take averages of numbers. This is math. And the reason our democracy is falling apart and people like Donald Trump get in power is because Fox News writes a script where they say, the White House has a conflicting view on what gas prices are. Are you kidding me? If Joe Biden ever claimed that gas prices were lower than they actually were, Fox News would run 24/7 segments of it non-stop and say that Democrats and Joe Biden don't care about the middle class. They don't care about middle class Americans and how hard it is to fill up at the gas pump while we all go sit in soup lines because of the Joe Biden economy. But when Donald Trump just, claims that prices are at an all-time low while inflation is up and the unemployment rate is up, and this is the slowest pace of hiring this country has seen since 2009, excluding the pandemic, his tariffs are crushing Americans and crushing businesses. When all of that happens, Fox News says, they have conflicting views on what's going on. They'll figure it out. Okay, right. It's absolute bullshit. It's insufferable. It makes no sense to me. We'll end off here. Donald Trump has been posting on True Social more lately. unfortunately. And this also goes pretty under the radar. But some of the stuff Donald Trump posts on True Social is really like makes no sense. What is going on here? Like, what is this? This is, I don't even know what this is. It's just like an AI photo of Donald Trump that says TikTok, TikTok on it. And he's like, he looks like he's like a little like character in a movie. And he just posted this at 6:46 p.m. On like a Sunday afternoon. Why? I don't know. Maybe because he's cognitively declining, as he also reposts stuff on True Social, as you see here, calling essentially for the murder of Democrats. Hang them, George Washington would, referring to Democrats. Seditious conspiracy, put them to death. The guy's not doing well. He's not okay. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments and down below. I really appreciate you watching this video. Truly, it means so much. My name is Chris Mowrey, filling in for Adam Mockler on the Adam Mockler channel. There's a link to my YouTube channel in the description down below. It'd mean a lot if you checked it out. Maybe go subscribe if you enjoy content like this, if you enjoy my style. Yeah, I make videos like this all the time. I love you. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Make sure you're subscribed to the Adam Mockler channel, and I will see you in the next video.